It's time now to take a look at this week's sporting highlights. Joining me in studio is SABC News sports reporter Simon Burke. Simon, thanks so much for joining us. A big week this weekend for South African rugby teams.
Absolutely. Well, for the Lions in particular, they're carrying the hopes of South Africa going into the Super Rugby final against the Crusaders, the most dominant team in Super Rugby history. You know, they've got a score to settle or two because they've gone to two previous finals and lost both of them against Australian teams. So, you know, they're definitely going to be up for this one. But by the sounds of it, Johannesburg and all of South Africa is also up for this one. A complete sellout. If you're going to the stadium, get there early because it's going to be gridlock going into Johannesburg.
What do you think the chances are for them to change history and repeat their past performances?
Well, I mean, I think everything is primed in this Lions team. It's a core group that's been together through very, very lean times. 2013, they weren't even in Super Rugby. They didn't have any friends in rugby. They couldn't, scratch together a tour just to keep themselves occupied. And now all of a sudden they're right at the top of the tree, finishing the regular season, at the top of the standings. And then everybody said, but you haven't played a New Zealand team yet. And they went on and thrashed the Hurricanes last weekend. Obviously a second half performance that did it. And now they go on to the Crusaders. So yes, they've got everything going their way. And I think the core is that it's a team effort here. And this is what's going to do it for them, I think.
Let's move to athletics now. IAAF championships.
Yep.
Our superstars are overseas and some unknown brights. Who are we going to look out for in those championships?
Well, world champs in London, and this is really Wade van Niekerk's championships. He's going to be the superstar. Forget about Usain Bolt. Forget about Mo Farah. Everybody is going to be tuning in to see Wade van Niekerk. And he starts his heats on Saturday in the 400 meters. Obviously, the Olympic champion, the world champion. The world is at his feet. He'll be in the semi-finals come Sunday. But that's just the tip of the iceberg for us because right now, South African athletics, there's strength and depth. So today we got Luvo Monyonga, and he's spearheading three athletes in the long jump. Then we have Akani Simbine. He's also going to be in action over the weekend in the 100 meters, and he could also potentially medal. So there's everything going on in terms of athletics, and it's almost, I could compare it to the Lions. You know, that's South African athletics. The resurgence has been, spot on, and we didn't see it coming at all, but they really could go on to dominate for years to come.
Speaking of people who might be struggling to dominate, the Proteas and
Yes.
England, many frustrated cricket watchers.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a tide changing?
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, before at lunch today, there was 67 for the loss of one wicket, England, and that's down to the South African bowlers. Although we don't have Morris and we don't have Philander, booked off ill, back problems. So we've also got to keep an eye on Keshav Maharaj with his hamstring. But it's we could do something. Although Old Trafford is not a good ground for us, we've only got one win in the last 9 there. So to put it frankly, they've got to save the series and they want to level it and then just get out of England and forget this ever happened because it's been a completely topsy-turvy series. They won the second test very well, but the first and the third just didn't go their way at all. We'll have to see what happens. It's early days yet. It's a 5-day. Hopefully it will go the whole 5 days and the rain won't interrupt matters.
We also, in Joburg, have the NBA Africa game that's taking place on Saturday. SABC has the rights for that.
Yep.
What's going to happen there? And is that going to be quite a big, well-attended show?
Look, it's going to be interesting because the NBA is trying to grow the game, and they constantly do. And this is what American sport is trying to do, given that they've isolated themselves so much. But Africa is fertile ground for this. So this is essentially an exhibition match at the Dome, but it's going to be exciting. And and whet the appetites for locals to come out and see how basketball can be played. It is a very entertaining thing to be a part of, and hopefully, you know, the NBA then can bring out some teams to come and play regular season matches as the NFL does in London. You know, that's really what we want to see. We want to see some stars, because right now it's Dirk Nowitzki, who you know, played for the Mavericks a couple of seasons ago, winning a championship, but not much else.
Serge Ibaka here. I know the ladies.
Yes, yeah, no,
that.
we got guys. We got guys. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be something to turn up for. But you know, let's see if we can get a few proper teams playing a regular season match out, and then we'll see what basketball's all about.
Simon Burke, thanks so much for your time. SABC Sports News reporter. That's a wrap for now. More news at the top of the hour.